What's up, people on YouTube? It's Belton here. Haven't really slept much in the past couple days. Been getting ready for the new patch, and it just dropped. It looks like we prepared well, lads. If you caught our earlier video, we discussed some of the unique changes, and we certainly got a bit ahead of the curve there. Some of these are freaking fantastic, so we'll go over those real quick here, and then we'll check out these new runes as well. Now, I did just hover over them briefly. I saw a couple of them, and like the second one I saw was so ridiculous. I was like, nope, chat, we're doing a live reveal, because they didn't drop in the patch notes that came out just before the patch. They didn't actually say what they were. There's actually 44 new runes, soul cores, and talismans, which is more than the 22 they initially said, which is obviously fantastic. But here were the changes that materially happened to unique items. So they added, I think it was 9 new unique items. But here are some of the huge changes. Headhunter. Motherfucking Headhunter, baby. No longer is it a 20-second guy like me. All right, he's pumped it up to a whole minute. My ex-girlfriends would be so proud, Headhunter. So proud. I guess that's the real Belton. Lessons today, baby. Anyways, Headhunter back to its former glory. 60 seconds compared to 20 is such a massive difference, just in terms of the playability and really like the whole viability of the belt. 20 seconds is really not enough time to navigate pack to pack outside of, you know, very, very dense maps and things like Breach. 60 seconds, though, a lot more liberal. You'll be able to stack those a lot higher. Hammer of Faith two-handed mace now has more damage, and it now grants 20-second shrine buffs. The Guiding Palm Unique Scepter has been given 3 separate variants that now give you 25% damage added as extra, as well as a buff that fires around spirals of, lightning bolts, freezing shards, or meteoric shrines with fire there. Now, again, if those of you that were following me early in this league will know that I spent like a month and a half trying to put together a MJOLNER build. And look at that, baby. They buffed the OG. It feels like this is like an OG buff patch. Well, so many of these items are callbacks to early PoE 1. Anyways, MJOLNER has been radically improved. It now has 250 to 350 increased physical damage. So basically doubling the base phys damage. It also now gives +2 to +4 to level of lightning skills. I don't know why it says previously +1, because it could roll +2 previously, as evidenced by here. Well, I haven't divined this yet. Yeah, the +4 is nuts, because you can get like a level 19 spell, and also +4 means that you can corrupt it to +5. +2 with a times 1.22 would only go to 2.44, so that could never actually go up to 2 to 3. But this can actually be now corrupted to +5 to lightning skills. So you could dual wield these, get +10 to lightning skills, which would be pretty nuts. And you'd also get the double triggers as well. The lightning spell on melee hit meta skill granted by MJOLNER no longer exists, and it's been renamed to Thunder God's Wrath. It now causes trigger spells to cost no mana. So sick. And it grants them a level-dependent amount of increased damage, up to 200% at level 20. Also, super sick. So just massive buffs all around there. The Spire of Ire, which is that Chaos Spear, has like almost triple the damage that it did previously and double the leech. Maybe a sleeper pick there. Calm's Heart. I'm actually pretty jazzed. I didn't buy a corrupted one. I got a nice clean one here. You can see it's been upped from 1,000 to 1,500, which means that'll be able to go to, what's that? 1,500 times 1.22. 1,830 will be the new max Calms roll. This is a really great one for us. Prism Guardian, because I bought like 5 of these. They were super cheap. Prism Guardian has just been doubled in its effectiveness, basically. Previously, it gave 1 spirit for every 50 max life on your character. Now it's 25, literally doubling it. So you can see we got 3 of those there. Defiance of Destiny has had its effect doubled. It was previously giving 10% missing life recovered prior to being hit. Now it can go up to 20. We got one of those as well. Yoke of Suffering. This is one of the ones I pointed out in the previous video because they were so cheap. This has been doubled in its effectiveness. So previously, you could roll 5 to 10% increased damage for each type of your elemental ailment on them. Okay, so when it says enemies take increased damage, That's actually a more multiplier. So increased damage sources are additive within each other, but if you don't have any other sources, that's actually a more multiplier. So there are 5 elemental ailments: freeze, chill, shock, electrocute, and ignite. So the fact that it's, instead of having them take 50% increased damage, that can now go up to 100% increased damage, which is effectively 100% more. Again, if you have other sources like shock and stuff, it becomes additive within that, but that is not something to scoff at. Also, you could corrupt it to go to 24, so that would be 120% increased damage taken. It does lower the duration of your ailments, though. Bringer of the Rain as well, that's also something we got, but unfortunately this one does not retroactively or allow itself to be divined, to be updated. So these ones are going to have to be found fresh again, and these have 100% increased crit chance on them now. So that's the really exciting stuff there. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm sure some of you guys are eager to see the new runes as well. There is one other thing in here, though, and I'll link the patch notes below the YouTube video in the description, of course, if you guys want to go through to look at some, more of the nitpicky stuff. There is something down here as well, though, that does impact crafting. Actually, a lot of your guys' crafting, and I've actually made a couple videos on these specifically, but they actually kind of shadow nerfed or stealth nerfed breach rings. So you can see breach rings drop from clasped hands in the Twisted Domain are now always rare. What does that mean? It means you can't use essences on them anymore. So no more using the the lightning essence to try and pump out the T1 lightning, or the attribute ones to pump out those rings. Gonna have to get them rare. Again, not the end of the world, but it does obviously make them a little less deterministic and a little more gamba. But it does say here that I believe the exact terminology was about 6 times more common. There we go. The rarest ones should appear 6 times more frequently. So omens are now 6 times more common for the high-end ones, which would be Whitling, Dextral, and Sinestral erasures, and annuls. So we'll see how that pans out. And as well, obviously, they buffed the Corrupting Monster, and they added all these new talismans. Now, a couple things that we're going to do in the video. I didn't divine any of my new stuff yet, so I figured we could update these together. 1,000 life, 1,500 life. 1 for 50, 1 for 25. 1 for 25, 1 for 25. The new MJOLNER. That's a shitty roll. Shitty. I can live with that. For now. We might actually update that in a little bit. How much DPS does that have now? 400, 630 divided by 2. It's like 500 PDPS. It's not bad. All right. 16% increased damage, 18% increased damage, 19% increased damage. Damn, that's a good one. Bringer of the Rain, we cannot update. Was it Hammer of Faith that got updated? The Hammer of Faith, unique mace. Existing items can be updated with the Divine Orb, okay? It doesn't mention the shrine stuff anywhere on these. Reduce attack, mana regen, all res. It now grants random shrine buffs every 20 seconds. Is that a bug? Hammer of the Faith. Hammer of Faith. Interesting. I guess it just does it. We'll figure that out later, I suppose. In any case, though, we have, Spirit for 25, Spirit for 25. And we have updated all of our Yokes of Suffering. Very nice. Headhunter automatically updates itself. You can see now it's got, when you kill a rare monster, you gain its mods for 60 seconds. I'm actually super jazzed because I already had a 3-charm one with an additional endurance charge. And mid-range rolls on the strength index, but pretty high on the life there. So that's great. Thunder God's Wrath too. Here, this is a new thing with MJOLNER. While active, gain energy when you hit enemies with melee attacks and trigger socketed lightning spells on reaching max energy. Gain 3 energy per power of enemies you hit with melee attacks, modified by the percentage of the enemy's ailment threshold the hit will deal. So that's actually an important part to recognize with this, if any of you are thinking about playing with MJOLNER now that it's coming out, because I did actually try to play with MJOLNER like extensively at the beginning of the league. First of all, mace skills are rather difficult. Now I know that there's one with, like, I think Young Roan or someone put it together. I apologize if I'm getting the attributing the build creator incorrectly. But I think somebody is doing a version of this. But again, mace skills rather difficult to trigger with, and also the energy to power ratio on this. It is based on how much damage you do to them, so you actually do need to do a decent amount of like melee damage to be able to get the full threshold for your energy generation there. However, what's great about this now, though, is that it doesn't have any mana cost associated with it. As well, as you can see here, I have a level 18 Thunder God's Wrath. Socketed skills deal 180% increased damage. And I imagine if I equip this, that would then go to 220% because the +4 lightning skills would take that up to 22. If you dual wielded it, that would go to 26. You know, put out an amulet, 29. And you could actually corrupt this to +5, which was not previously possible. Etc, etc. So there's definitely gonna be some cool things that can happen there. Even though it's probably the thing that I will make like the least use of on a personal level, it's still really exciting for me. But anyways, I'm going on one of my little rants and sidewinding diatribes here. Let's get down to business here, lads. Let's find out what these new runes are. Again, I did hover over a couple of them, and I was so flabbergasted I had to start this video. So let's go. All right. These are the ones we already knew. These ones. All right, so starting with the purples. Martial Weapon adds cold damage. Wander Staff, 25% chance for spell skills to fire 2 additional projectiles. What the fuck? Bro. Is that... Oh, no, I guess you can't stack that. I was going to say, because in PoE 1 you could dual wield wands. I was like, what if you corrupt 2 sockets on 2 wands, and then you have a 100% chance. But I guess you can't do that in PoE 2. Either way, 50%. Or if it's on a staff, I guess 75% to 2 additional projectiles. That's pretty crazy. 10% damage mana from life. This is the one that I fucking... this happened to be the one that I hovered over, and I like literally had a conniption. +1 fucking arrow! +1 arrow! The OGs from my channel will know the depths that I have gone for an additional arrow, to the tune of hundreds of hours, hundreds of mirrors, a little bit of my dignity. This is just nuts. +1 arrow is crazy. Alright, gloves. Fizz 2 attacks, gloves, cast speed. Martial weapon. Attack damage against rare and unique. Martial weapon, lightning damage. +1 to spell skills. They sneak peek that. Energy shield recharge. Exposure effect. Wow, that's really good. Gloves. Magnitude of damaging ailments. Wow. So if you got that, that'd be 30. You get 60% magnitude in a pair of gloves with 100% effect. Damn. 20% withered. Wow, that's really... I mean, chaos is not super popular right now, but withered, that's incredibly strong there. The boots. Let's see if any of the boot ones are for sale yet. No. This is the one that everyone was obviously super hype about. Okay, what else we got here? Martial weapon, fire damage. Martial weapon, wander staff. 13% damage as extra chaos. Okay. Martial weapon or wander staff. Gains 6% of damage as extra damage of all elements. Whoa, 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 whoa. Does that mean you get 6%... like as 2% fire, 2% cold, 2% lightning? Or does that mean you get 6% added as fire, 6% added as cold, 6% added as lightning? We're going to have to test that. Because that's pretty nutty if it's the latter. 40% reduced effective curses on you. Okay. 2% experience gain. Shout out to the fucking level gods. So you can get this helmet here. Already gets 6% experience, so I guess the best thing would be to get Oh no, it'd be better. The best thing would be to keep 5% on there and they get 2 sockets, then you get 9%. That'd be the best, right? 9% experience, that's nice. For the leveling folks out there. Gloves, 20% increased magnitude of non-damaging ailments. Oh, sorry, this is 15% magnitude of damaging ailments. I thought it was all ailments. Non-damaging ailments and damaging ailments. So damaging ailments would be poison, bleed, ignite. And then non-damaging ailments being chill, freeze, shock, and electrocute. And boots, 6% reduced movement speed penalty from using skills while moving. Interesting. I'm sure some builds can make pretty good use of that. The 8% cast speed there is really interesting for gloves. The fizz damage to attacks is nice too, because that could get doubled, right? So that'd be 10 to 24, and then 2 of those. So 20 to 48. That's a ton of flat fizz there. Helmet's exposure effect. Wow, those are some cool ones. All right, check out the soul cores. I think they added new soul cores, right? Oh yeah, all these guys down here. All right, see the first one. Faster shield recharge. 20% of armor also applies to cold damage. Whoa! 20% of armor also applies to lightning damage. 20% of armor also applies to fire damage. 50% chance when you gain a frenzy charge. Oh! Mjolnir's getting buffed. We're getting charge generation. Oh, it's going to be Discharge Daddy Days background here again soon, baby. We just need the skill back up. Dude, I love charges. Love charges. One of my favorite items in PoE 2 is Hateforge. Like this one here. The 3 charges on reaching maximum rage, minus 10 max rage, plus 1 frenzy. So you got 20 max rage. When you hit it, you get 3 charges, right? If you stack your frenzy charges high, that'll fill out the power and the endurance for, like in 1 or 2 tries. And then if you can basically double, like on a 2-socketed weapon, you can guarantee that, right? It was 50%, I believe, right? Yeah, it's 100% chance. You could double the amount of frenzy charges you take. So that's like every single build becoming a Deadeye. Does that mean Deadeye can get 4 times the amount? Oh wait, no, sorry. That's when they use them, right? Wait, what was the wording on this again? Sorry, guys. Obviously, I'm looking at this live with you here. Probably gonna have to deal with a little bit of my excitement and fluff. 50% chance when you gain. Okay, so you gain additional. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really great. And what's really cool about that too, you could combine that with yeah, like I'm thinking Hate Forge, and then you could use that with Serpent's Egg, which just doubles the amount of charges. So if you did Hate Forge, gain 3 charges, which would go to 6 charges, right? Let's say the 3 of those 6 are endurance, 3 are power, right? So the first time you hit rage cap goes there. Boom. Now the next time you hit max rage, all 6 go to frenzy. So then you would get 3, and then that would double, and then all 6 go to frenzy. So now you get 12 frenzy charges. Ha! 9 max frenzy charges is the most, right? Because you get 3 base, you can get 4 off the passive, that's 7. You get 1 from Dark Ray Vectors, that's 8, and then 1 from a Glove Enchant, that's 9. But still, that's that's a really cool. That's a cool. Oh, wait. Did that say? Wait. Ah, martial weapon. Damn. I forgot that I bought these too because I was hoping that maybe we could find there'd be like a kind of a shadow buff to these. Since they were nerfed. The Mahuwaxel or whatever. 100% increased effective soul cores with 3 sockets. I was thinking maybe that that frenzy generator might be able to pop in there. All right, what's the next one? Same thing for endurance charge, lit, power charge, lit. The minions, I don't know anything about minions. Minions, mines, traps, and totems to me always kind of seem like the cucks of PoE. Like you just sit there and watch somebody else like, fuck your shit up for you. Not for me. All right, bows, broad speed, nice. Enemies you curse have -4. That's interesting. They nerfed this. This used to be on the teaser. This was -8, I believe. Helmet, skill effect duration, and increase. Wow, that's a really nice one. That's super good. Skill duration and cooldown recovery. Helmets, max rage. Boots, curse duration and poison duration. Wow. Speed of recoup effects. Damage, nice. Okay, check out the talismans. All right, we've got what? Like 7 more new ones, it looks like. All right, wait, they teased that one already. +1 charm slot. That can't exceed 3, right? Yeah, okay. Helmet, reduced cost of skills. Oh, nice. That's fucking sick. Helmets, enemies you curse take 5%. That's really good too. Minion reservation, glove. Oh! Oh! Boys. 16% attack speed per rune. Or the Empower. What was that Empower one? 15, so I would go to 30%. So you get 60% chance. Additional poisons. Oh my god, dude. Let's see if the price on these has dropped at all. Only 1 div. Dude, this is gonna be lit. Well, I don't know about the long term, but in the short term, it's gonna be lit. Anytime that you can, have a little fun. 100 divs. Eat my shorts. These will all drop in price. Anyways, that's fucking sick, dudes. I'm super jazzed. How long's the video? 21 minutes. That's not even that long. I thought I was ranting and raving here. God, I just, yeah. Look how many socketables there are now. Damn. Sorority spring break. Look at all those fucking holes. Jeez. That's a lot to keep track of. Curse magnitude is also very good. There's a lot of good essences and soul cores that were already in place too. Don't overlook all that as well. Yeah, MJOLNER, lots to look at there. The Headhunter, just by the way, in terms of the actual buffs and me not just like fangirling over like past, obsessions or whatever, the Headhunter buff by far is the biggest and most impactful. Not only like in terms of the strength and like the impact it'll have on like playability, but like the ubiquity of it, right? Pretty much everyone can use a Headhunter. I can't stress you the difference of 20 to 60 seconds because they did mess around with the time a little bit in PoE 1 previously as well. Just being able to stack them up on top of each other and not have to feel like you're jumping pack to pack. Sometimes, like the fact that you could use Ingenuity instead of Headhunter and you didn't really like feel the difference. Right, like if you had Headhunter on in PoE 1, you had a Headhunter on. A lot of that had to do with Soul Eater, and like growing massive. But like you would know, right? Like the first map you did, you would know, and that's what's made it probably like that feeling and like that like holy shit moment is probably made it one of the most, if not the most, emblematic and iconic item in PoE history. Very few items can you like feel it when you put it on, and that's certainly one of them. And that's definitely a change in the right direction there. The MJOLNER stuff we'll have to see. Obviously, it's just a buff across the board there. Hopefully that opens some more variety. The yoke is great there. Again, literally doubling the effectiveness. Prism Guardian doubling the effectiveness. Hammer of the Faith. I think maybe that's doesn't say anything about the shrines there. Maybe that's just me being retarded, but who knows? Calm's Heart, 50% more effective. So that's cool. And what else was changed there? They had that new Scepter, Bringer of the Rain, that now has 100% crit chance. All of those new runes, ton to look over, guys. Anyways, I'm going to get into it. I'll be streaming. As I said, I've been going for like 30 hours or whatever, just trying to get this to you guys. I apologize if I kind of rambled on here. Just thought I'd cover it, give you my thoughts, just sort of as a follow-up to the previous video. If you guys like this, you can throw a like, drop a comment, do all that YouTube algorithm stuff. And if you're new to the channel, you like PoE content, crafting, economy, just enjoy the game, I'm your guy. So if you feel like it, drop a sub, and sure, I won't let you down. Anyways, fellas, I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Enjoy, boys.